Creep night, sure to send a chill down your spine. Welcome to Creep Night. A car can get you many places, and sometimes we overlook the history of that car, or we just choose to ignore the facts. For one lady, buying a new car should be exciting, but for her, it will prove to be one of the worst nightmares she will live. Janet had been driving to work when her car began to sputter, and eventually it broke down on the highway. Janet flipped open her phone and called a towing company to come out and tow her car. When the towing truck arrived, she hooked up Janet's car, and Janet got in the passenger seat. The tow company was nice enough to drop Janet off at home. Janet knew she would have to buy another car fast if she wanted to keep her job. Janet looked in a phone book and found a dealership. She took a taxi to the dealership. "Is there a certain car you are looking for?" "I'm looking for something classic but not too old school, if you know what I mean." The sales associate took Janet to the end of the lot. That's where she saw a turquoise car. Janet walked over to the car, and she ran her hand down the side of it. It was smooth as butter. She fell in love with the 1968 Camaro. "Would you like to know the history of the car?" "No, it's perfect. I'll take it." The sales associate shrugged it off on his shoulders and drew up the paperwork. Janet ran her card. She was now excited to drive her new car home. Janet sat in the front seat to get a feel of the car. She could only imagine what she would look like pulling up to work in this car. The dealership associate came back with her keys. "Here you go. You're all set. Enjoy your new car." "Thank you." Janet put the key in the car and started it up. Janet began to drive out of the parking lot. She felt great about her new car. It would be a week later that she would notice weird stuff begin to happen. "Hey, say, hey, hello." Janet turned around and looked behind her after hearing what she thought had been whispers. But she saw nothing. She played it off as if she must have heard the radio. A song on the radio started to play. It had been the song "We've Only Just Begun." Janet felt this creepy sensation wash over her. Janet turned the station, but a few moments later, the channel switched back on its own. "What the hell is going on here?" Janet said to herself as she began to freak out even more. As she had said that, a soft voice came on the radio. "Join us, Janet. Join us." Janet told herself she was just tired and hallucinating the whole thing, so she ignored it and turned the radio off. But a moment later, the radio turned back on and repeated the same sentence. "Join us, Janet. Join us." Janet looked at the radio with a scared, bulging eyes and slammed her finger on the button to turn off the radio. Again, the radio turned itself on, and this time it demanded, "Join us." "No!" Janet tried to stomp on the brake of the car, but the car kept going. Janet slammed her foot on the brake, but the car still kept going. She could see another car coming as her car began to race down Main Street. The car weaved out of the way. "Janet, there's no other way but for you to join us." "No, let me out." "I'm sorry, Janet, but we just can't do that." The car began to turn the corner. Janet grappled on the door handle. She tried to force the car door open, but it would not budge. Janet, I thought we had something.
What are you talking about?
Remember at the dealership and you ran your hand down my side? You were imagining driving me and how you wanted to be inside of me. Janet started to panic as the car continued to drive itself down a huge, windy hill. She could see a huge lake outside of her windshield as the car raced down toward it. Now we can be together for all eternity. The radio boomed with excitement as it sped up even faster than before. No! The car hit the water. When Janet gave up all hope of being out of the car, she closed her eyes and left this world. Hours later, two men who would tow the car out of the lake said,
"Well, it's still salvageable."
"Yup, but shame for that lady. All she had to do was unlock her door."
"Yup, sure is a shame. Well, let's get this car back to the dealership."
A car that longs for the human touch can indeed be a very deadly thing. Be careful the next time you pick out a car, for it too may hold something sinister. Thank you for listening to Creep Night.